This is going to cover linked lists, and this is going to be a very simple example. We're really just going over what is in Workium's help. So if you go to help.workium.com and search for linked lists or lists, you should find a number of resources, and right now there's one, essentially what we're going to do exactly, a course and teachers linked lists. So we've created a My Courses application, and right now we're going in and creating courses as a list. In here we're just going to edit a list and add something pretty simple. Before getting too far into it, I would say if you're working on linked lists and you're looking for something detailed, this is really, we're going to go by step, something very simple. So you may be needing to find something a little more complex, especially if you're starting to look at cascaded lists. This won't cover that. So we're adding another field here called description. Courses, you could have schedules, you could have room locations, you could have a administrator, or like if you're dealing with a school where you have head of like categories like the math department. Duration here is going to give us the ability to have a pretty simple static list, so something like 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 semesters, whatever. So just sticking in here 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to create another list here, and this one is going to be called teachers. I should really be more precise about it. You have fields in a list. I often say lists and then lists and lists, like. So to be more precise about it, in this case we have a teacher's list with a field of name, and then we're going to put in notes here. So a note about a teacher, we'll just keep it as a text here. Now we can go ahead and create a new record of a teacher. I never really remember any of my teachers. I think I had a Mr. Bauer that I didn't really like, so we're going to stick in a note here. Students do not like him. Well, I gotta save that, and then now we're really gonna start getting into the actual linking now between courses and teachers. And again, this is very much like if you've ever had a situation where I have a spreadsheet, I have 2 different sheets, and I want them to be linked somehow, those fields from one in another. That's really what we would be doing. So we're going to edit the list here, and we'll create a new field that is a linked list. So a teacher has courses, and a course has teachers. We're in the course list here, and now adding a field of teachers linked to the teacher list. So you end up saying the same words over and over, but basically we're taking courses, adding a field that we can put the teacher in there, and those records will be linked between what course is taught by which teachers. And again, it just gets a lot of the same words over and over, but hopefully that just really pounds it in. So Mr. Blaze is going to teach pain and suffering. Excuse me, Mr. Bauer. The next teacher I'm making is Mrs. Blaze, because that would make me think of hell. You can see that you can just click the name if you've already created a teacher. So now let's create the Mrs. Blaze teacher, and we'll save that, and we've put it as a teacher by the course. So while we were in the course, we added a new teacher. So let's go ahead and go back into the teachers list, and we'll also see Mrs. Blaze in there. We didn't give her notes when we created her. We could go in and create her notes. Now let's go ahead and Mrs. Blaze, and if we go into courses, we can see that she is teaching pain and suffering, and we can also create a new course within her record. We have to do it in these tabs up here. So let's go ahead and add her to a class. Mrs. Blaze, let's see. Math is fine, but chemistry probably makes more sense to me with someone named Blaze. And let's add a duration to that course now. And so we can see that the course has a 2 duration. We just stuck in a random number there, basically. Save that one, and we can see that Mrs. Blaze is linked to that course. She is also linked to the other course, so she is teaching both chemistry, pain and suffering. Pain and suffering doesn't have a duration, and that really kind of handles very basically how a linked list works. Again, you'd be talking about a sheet and a sheet if you're thinking about this in spreadsheet terms, where you want to have a relationship be something in one sheet and another sheet. Pretty simple.